Welcome back to another YouTube video. What is going on, guys? This is the first week I've had at home in probably a month now. It feels good to be home, that is for sure. You might think being a YouTuber is like this easy thing where you just get to get up and go fishing every day. That's definitely part of it, but it's not just about catching walleyes. You have to essentially travel around and catch walleyes the way the viewers may want you to catch them sometimes. It's not really up to you how you ultimately fish for the fish. And that's kind of the curveball that makes this job a little bit interesting. We used to just go fishing willy-nilly, and however we caught the fish, we'd film it. It doesn't cut it anymore on YouTube. That's not a practical way to operate a YouTube channel anymore. You gotta be thinking deeper. You gotta be thinking, what do the viewers really want to see? And that's kind of what makes this job interesting and a challenge for sure. So today we're gonna challenge ourselves. Yesterday we challenged ourselves. You guys didn't watch the video from yesterday. I don't know when it was posted at, honestly, but we went out, filmed in the XL, the river rig, the simple boat, a couple Helix 9s on the back, and jigged a bunch of walleyes on just a small little local lake. Today we're hoping to go out to a different small local lake and show a little bit more of a summertime pattern. We got this really warm early fall period, and some lakes fish are getting into a fall mood. Some lakes, there's still fish in full-on summer fishing situations. So we're gonna keep it simple today. We're gonna go out, we're gonna catch some fish, hopefully doing a little bit more of a simple summer pattern that ultimately is gonna catch fish everywhere you go. And we're gonna break it down in the little camouflage XL boat. So stay tuned, I'm looking forward to it. We'll see you guys on the water. My mic on? Are we all systems rolling here? Let me double check everything. You gotta get it right. There's no second take. Well, we're out here. It is a beautiful, what it's gonna feel like is midsummer day, but it's actually the end of September, which is pretty wild. Now, without forward facing, it's nearly impossible to know where to start. Basically just take a big picture of the map and throw a dart at it, and then just go start there and start fishing and see what happens. But what we're gonna do today is hopefully utilize just some old school spinner rigs to catch a whole bunch of fish. And that's the goal. We're on small little local lake, a lot of pressure, not a high quality walleye fishery by any means. So if we can realistically get 5 fish in that 15 to 20 inch size today, and maybe one a little bit bigger would be great. That's going to be kind of a good middle of the day portion for us. We'll get the old Minn Kota down. Now, we're going to set up a trolling spread. There's 2 buttons that are going to help you a lot. One is this one right here. This is cruise control. So basically I'm going to set this for kind of the classic spinner speed of, I'm looking at it backwards here. Let's just go 1.3. Now, the trolling motor is going to do everything I need to do to keep me going a consistent speed. But I also want to go a consistent direction, so it's all kind of hands-free. So I'm also going to hit this button. This one's autopilot. This is going to point my trolling motor in a certain direction and keep me on that heading. So now, all my speed is accounted for, because I've already set it, and my direction's accounted for. Almost feels like cheating. For our planer board, we're running the same boards I use on everything. TX22 Special by Churchboard. Now, the cool part about this board, I'll link it down below. It's a big front clip. Your line's never going to slip out of there. You also have a pin back clip and a tattletale, which is really crucial for fishing spinner rigs, obviously, because you can tell if you got weeds, if you're ticking bottom, if you got a small fish starting to bite, all of that kind of stuff. Now, we're fishing in the state of Wisconsin, obviously. So I can run 3 lines, kind of staggering the water column, or if I get in fish, I just got a lot more lines to be in those fish at one time. So it's almost, one could say it's almost unfair how many lines I can have out at one time. Almost doesn't give the fish a chance, I would say. That's what we're looking for. Take a screenshot for you guys. The fact that you can see those fish before catching them, unreal. Right there. Well, that didn't take too long. That didn't take too long at all. That didn't take too long. Feeling all right too. Sitting in 40 feet of water. I had this bait about 25 down. That is the one thing nice about fishing with snap weights, which we'll go into in a little bit, but I could stagger that bait all over the water column and get it to where I want. Now, could you run a bottom bouncer? Absolutely you could. A lot of these real pressured lakes, I have far more confidence keeping that bait or that weight a long ways away from the fish. In bottom bouncer, obviously you can only get by with so much lead. Or snap weighting allows me to have a real finessey presentation way back behind everything. Nice angry 17-incher to start. Come here, bud. Come here, bud. Flip you on in. There we go. Number one of the day right there on the old spinner rig. We haven't filmed any of this basin spinner rig fishing this year. Obviously, still an unbelievably productive way to fish. There's the first one right there. Nice keeper-sized walleye on a beautiful September morning. Now, I'd be lying if I told you that I wish, what I want is about 47 degrees right now. And those mornings that are about 35 degrees, warming up to a high of 50. But it's gonna be about 80 degrees today. Just went over a big school. It's nice to be able to see the fish before you catch them. I actually saw those ones on sonar. So we're kind of anticipating here at any moment we are going to get one. About like that right there is what we were thinking. Come here, bud. It's feeling all right. Oh, look at that. We got two on. Just like that. Just like that. Hands-free fishing, baby. That one's really going nuts. He's got that little 5.3 shorty maxed. One nice part about trolling in Wisconsin is you got multiple rods in the strike zone at one time. Oh, did he come off? I don't know, he might have came off. This one's just another nice eater-sized fish here. He's going nuts in the clear water. Flip him on in, boy. Flip him on in. We don't even have to swap our crawler out on that one. Beauties, man. That is the way we want to start our morning, on some of this local water. Now, are you still on? Oh yeah, you're still on. Doubled up, baby, doubled up. This one, like, fingers crossed, should be nicer. Old school fishing, archaic, pulling spinners. Like any presentation though, the small details are ultimately what catch you a lot more fish. Obviously you can go to probably some lake in Canada and just drop a bouncer down with a 2-foot lead and catch walleyes all day, but a lot of the pressured water, especially where you have a day like this, fish can get a little funky, and then doing all of the small things right is generally going to equate to you catching a lot more fish. Running snap weights, going the right speed, having your cruise control set so all the baits are fishing at one time. You're not doing some big swings when you go through fish where one's lagging. Looking at your electronics, keeping your baits around fish, noticing how far off the bottom those fish are, adjusting accordingly. All things that make a big difference. Of course, with forward-facing sonar, none of that stuff matters. You just go fishing and you see a fat mark, you cast at it, and you have a nearly 100% success ratio with catching them. Oh yeah, nice walleye right there. I can just start seeing them coming up. Isn't that cool in the clear water? That is nice right there. We're gonna net you, bud. Actually, you know what? We'll get back here on the old landing platform. Reach down and grab you real quick. Gotcha. That's a beauty right there, huh? It's about as good as it gets right there, my friends. Let's let them go. There's a boat coming right over towards me. We're trying to fly under the radar in the old John boat. Sometimes they see the big flashy warrior and they're like, that guy must know what he's doing. But in this boat, maybe they don't. Oh, maybe they do though. Maybe they do. They know. That spot's not even mapped. It's crazy. Not only can I see the fish that come right below me on sonar, but I can see the fish that are off the side of me up to about 120 feet to kind of tell me where there's fish around just using my side imaging. So there's certainly fish around. Almost feels like cheating. I mean, I can look, just the way my thing's set up right now, I can look 90 feet that way and 90 feet that way and look at 180 feet of water at one time to see if there's walleyes anywhere perpendicular to the transom of my boat. It's insane. It doesn't even feel right to be able to see all those fish. Kind of the only downfall to this style of fishing is my neck just gets sore after a while. It's like kink in it, kind of right back in here from just staring at my side imaging and my GPS map the whole time. I suppose if I sat down, I could kind of look a little bit more up at it. I just came over some more. They're just barely off the left side of me. So if they stay there, one of these two rods should go off. It's possible they could always move and end up on that side. High likelihood of a bite here in the next 30 seconds. There's one right there. Got him. That is all the hook set you want to do when you're spinner rigging. Nothing crazy is needed. Ton of fun. Oh, dude, we got a double going on here, or one thinking about it. Yep, we're doubled. Cheating, full on cheating. Unbelievable. Should be banned. Traditional 2D and the groundbreaking technology, which is side imaging, is too much for these fish. There's nowhere for them to hide. They're decent though. Nothing wrong with those ones right there. That is what we are after. He just got that back hook right there. Fishing a tandem hooked rig. Simple spinner. I don't even know if it even matters today. I don't have a lot of spinner rigging stuff, so kind of whatever I see in my box is what pretty much gets tied on. But one thing the snap weight does is it'll keep a lot of that debris off of your bait. So you might have a few some of this eelgrass that's in the water on your snap weight, but it won't be on your bait. That's obviously a good thing. He's digging, he's crazy. Come on, bud. Come on, bud. It's gonna be similar size, another eater-sized one, flipperoo. Just like that. And he's on the back hook too. Obviously, this is not by any means a good-looking walleye fishing day. And we are straight up clocking them, except I hooked myself here. There we go. Another pretty little 17er. How you gonna beat it for a quick little mid-morning outing? Now we're fishing out over the basin today, and it probably looks like it's just a lot of combing and raking and randomness when you get out in these basins, but there's certainly a method to it. And I've spent a lot of time fishing basin walleyes over the last 10, 12 years of walleye fishing, and I love fishing basin. But if you come onto the Walleye Now app, well, it's not gonna show, it's too bright out. We'll screen record. And if you hit explore, come down here to summer, click on natural lake, you're gonna see a whole pile of videos on here. Location, how to find suspended walleyes. That's what I'm gonna wanna watch. That's gonna give you a really good breakdown of how I start looking for these basin fish, how it's not so much a needle in a haystack thing. So that's gonna get you pointed in the right direction there. And if you want kind of a really deep dive on pulling spinner rigs, you can come down here to presentations, pull spinner rigs like a pro. And you can click on this video, and this is gonna give you kind of a really good run through on kind of how I like to pull spinner rigs and all the little things that I think make a big difference. So that's kind of the deal there. Jump over on the Walleye Now, available on Google Play and the App Store. With that amount of information, it's basically cheating. Oh, right there. Just saw those fish on sonar too. Almost too effective. Lethally effective. I mean, you literally see the fish, and then about 90 feet later, you catch the fish. But clearly, with this high level of fishing we're doing today, not an issue. See you later, bud. Well, just went over a bunch of fish. So any second now, theoretically, I should get one. More than likely on this rod, as I can see on the side imaging, they're slightly shifted over off my right side. Oh, look at that. Right there. Almost like we knew we were gonna catch one. Almost like we knew they were there. Well, for fishing for an hour and a half, I don't know how many fish we've caught, but it has certainly been a lot. It honestly shouldn't be this simple. It's feeling all right, feeling all right. Our snap weight's gonna pop up here in just a moment. There it is. We'll take off our 2 ouncer here, and then we'll be straight to the fish. Keep that rod nice and loaded up. Come on, buddy. Just wanna look at you. Oh yeah, nice walleye. Another standard issue. Nice eater size one. He ain't coming off. He's hooked right in the snout. He got it real good. As we've been out here and the sun's gotten a little higher, they're all coming on the back hook now. Less head hunting going on. But still, with a presentation that effective, there's no shortage of fish to catch. Beautiful walleye right there. See you later, bud. Back down. Almost like we knew we were gonna catch one there. Well, we're back home where we started the video. Quick little 2-hour outing. Caught 15 plus fish while filming. That's a pretty solid little morning out under some tough conditions. But after my morning studies, I can only conclude a few things. One, spinner rigs must be banned. Far too effective to put that worm right on a fish's face like that. And they really have no choice but to bite, and you rarely lose one the way those rigs hook up. Far too lethal to be considered an actual walleye fishing presentation. The other thing I noticed was that while I was out there looking at my helixes, a graph that's maybe been out for 12 years now, is that the side imaging and the sonar is far too efficient at telling you where your bait should be. I mean, there's many instances where I could watch fish down there, knew my bait was gonna come into them, and I knew they were gonna bite. It kind of blew my mind how effective that whole process was. And the third thing I noticed was that with my autopilot on my Terova, is that I could literally put my baits out where my graphs told me to put the baits out, set my motor to the speed and direction I wanted, and I could literally just sit back there and the fish would just bite and I wouldn't even have to stand up half the time. They'd just hook themselves. Based on my findings, all 3 of those things, I see no other conclusion that this style of fishing must be banned. We cannot continue to degrade the fishery by fishing spinner rigs in this fashion. In all seriousness, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I was really looking forward to this week just fishing around home. Went out 3 times in the little XL. This thing's an absolute beast of a little boat. Very functional walleye fishing platform, both in the rivers we fished this spring and out on these lakes. And I hadn't pulled spinners all summer on boards and kind of done that type of pattern. So I was looking forward to doing that. And obviously it was effective. I'll take a cool down anytime it wants to come because I'm ready for more fall jig fishing stuff. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I tried to pile in some good tips in there on how I look for fish with side imaging, some tips with the snap weights, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. But No idea what I'm doing next. I might take the next few days and go hunting, as it's supposed to actually be a little bit cooler. And then after we get a little bit cooled down, maybe I'll be back to fishing. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Hopefully you guys are out there catching some fall walleyes. And we'll see you guys on the next one.